How's it hanging, fellas? I'm OrosZ and this is another episode of Terraria, and in today's episode, this might be the episode where I dig the tunnel to hell, because I remember this episode being quite long. This episode is 45 minutes long, and it's pretty much just consistent of me just digging down. Or not, maybe I'm not going to hell? I'm going to the right. I wish I knew what the fuck was going through my mind when I was recording that, but I don't remember. You know? Also, remember how I was telling you how my grandparents called me over one time and I had to like set up their new shit? Because my grandma got a new phone and she got this like smart band. Yeah, she gave me the smart band, so now I got a watch now. I never wore a watch in my entire life. But I'm just not a fan of like having something fucking hanging on my hand. I'm not a fan of like wristbands or like necklaces. At some point as a kid I like wore necklaces and shit. I had like these. I had this one cool one I remember. It was like a fang, not a fang. It was like a saber tooth. On like a string. It looked kinda cool. I remember I was like really small and I like was walking around with it and there were the older kids and they were making fun that I probably wrestled a Siberian tiger to death and ripped it out of its mouth or something. And I don't know, I remember them being cool. Those were cool dudes. You like how my cursor is yellow and blue now? Instead of green and red? I was going for these opposite color thing. And the opposite of blue is orange. That's orange, not yellow, sorry. The opposite of red you might think is blue, but it's actually green. And the opposite of yellow is purple. And the opposite of white is black. Did you know that? You probably didn't, because you gotta be a fucking idiot like me to know that. That's forbidden knowledge. So this wristband, I don't know, it tells me time. How many steps I took today? 3,000? Well, 4,000 basically. Status. I burned 99 calories and I walked 3 kilometers. And my heart rate is 105 beats per minute, I guess. And it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, I'm recording those in the morning. Don't think that I'm sitting down in the evening, this is all I did. Like I barely walked anywhere. I still got time. My friend was doing this challenge, the same friend I'm playing this game with. So boss was doing a challenge where every day he would have to take 20,000 steps. So he was going on these long walks. One time I went with him and I got a milkshake. I got a fucking lemon flavored shake. It was great. It was awesome. I forgot to shit. Hold on a fucking minute. I'll be back. What's the shit. Hold on. I'm back. Well, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to grab a milkshake, obviously. This is the vanilla one. I had that one already, didn't I? But it's just really nice to have something. Yeah, the vanilla one's way better than the chocolate one. I give the vanilla one an 9 because I believe nothing is perfect, so nothing ever gets a 10 out of 10, so I might as well just rate stuff 1 to 9. Stuff out of 9. Because nothing ever gets a 10 in my book. That's a funny little quirky idea, you know, be a reviewer and just rate games out of 9, because no game ever deserves a 10, because none of the games are ever that good. Because, I don't know, in my opinion 10 would imply this is a perfect game, and there's no perfect games. Like The Last of Us 2 got 10s out of 10s, but I don't know, those were really suspicious looking 10 out of 10s, guys. Postal Dude's shirt, you know the Postal Dude shirt, the one with an alien? You can buy that on like Running with Scissors website. And I know that because I just saw it on Twitter. Because I don't even look what the fuck I'm doing, I just hear that I'm digging. And I'm swapping weapons and all that cool stuff. So on October 2nd, Crash 4 comes out. So I want to get that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get that on release. I might get it on release actually. Man, in this fucking fall, so many goddamn games are coming out. Like on PlayStation 4, and I'm just like, shit, why? So many of them. I'm gonna go back to school in the fall, and I'm gonna have so many games that are like brand new. There's Crash 4, there's Cyberpunk, and and possibly there could be the fourth Borderlands 3 DLC. I saw some people talking about Borderlands 3, and someone said that only the newest DLC was like really good. But I don't know if the newest DLC was like really good. I really like the first one. Only the second one I thought was like I thought the locations were just too fucking big, cause like there was this one part in the forest where every time you went there you had to like run through the whole goddamn forest. In my opinion, they're all good. You know, I do admit that one thing that they were talking about that does suck about it is the fact that, you know, the dialogue's kinda shit. Especially from the Calypso twins at least. But there is the fucking mission right at the beginning of the game where you have to grab a gun called the Big Suck. And it already sounds stupid. At least the Big Suck isn't like some made up word. Well, they spell it S-U-C-C, so it's like suck, right? But at least suck is a real word and they didn't call them, I don't know, the fucking cringeinator or something like that. And then like in 10 years or something, someone's gonna go back to this game. Maybe someone's gonna be like, this Borderlands series, Borderlands 6 came out, I gotta check out Borderlands 3 now, or something. And they're gonna play through a mission and gonna be like, the fuck is cringeinator? What the fuck is that referencing? Actually, no one said cringe in that game. I'm fucking glad no one did, because that would be fucking lame. That would be cringe itself. People saying cringe and cringe. And... what was I saying? Cringe. Cringe. I was talking about cringe, right? I don't fucking know. I was gonna check out these games that I missed on State of Play because I was too lazy to watch the whole thing. Like the first thing they shown was the new Crash Bandicoot 4 information, and I was like, you know what? I don't give a shit about anything else, to be honest. Oh, I was talking about tattoos last episode, that what tattoos I wanted to get. And you know what's one tattoo I always considered a heavy contender? The NCR flag on my back, you know, with the double-headed bear and the evil fucking NCR. And someone's gonna call me a fascist. They're gonna be like, yo, you're a fascist, you're with the NC. Actually, weren't the fucking Caesar's Legion there was like the fascist? The fuck would you call the NCR then? Were they like totalitarians or something? I don't fucking know. What do you think about possibly the possibility of banning Reddit? I don't want Reddit banned. I want Reddit fucking gone from the world. Just I want fucking everything gone. I want memes to disappear because I hate them. I thought like maybe maybe one day, you know, like some kid is gonna show me, check out this meme I got, and it's gonna be like a picture of an apple or something, and just gonna have like bottom text on it saying X, and that's gonna be funny, and he's gonna be like, oh, that's hilarious, and I wanna know the context, and I'll tell him that this meme is shit, and not this meme. Every meme is fucking garbage and shit. I fucking hate them. By the way, apparently, I'm not really up to date with the whole story about the... Remember the fucking game that like funny Let's Players, you know, that scream a lot and play one game and then never fucking finish it? It was the Yandere Simulator, and There's like some controversy with the fucking creator, because apparently he's like a fucking creep. Like apparently he haven't left his home in a year. He's like on some people are on like his Discord server and like chatting with him, and apparently he's like really fucking weird. And I remember hearing a story that he like one time someone wanted to help him out with finishing the game, and they like were going through the code, and apparently the code was like an enormous fucking mess. It was like awful. It was like awful, and he I guess got mad and didn't want the guy to help him anymore, so that's why the game haven't been apparently. I guess the game is still in early access or something. I remember that at some point the game was like they changed the entire school, because it was at some point like was just like a rectangle, but then they like changed it into like a bigger thing, and it like added new options. But I guess that must have been a while ago, and I just kind of lost the track of time. Also, I'm still not digging a tunnel to hell. I thought I was doing that by this time. Also, another thing I was saying last episode, how I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to record the next episode. I am recording this episode right after the previous one, because I do have some time. The previous one was so nice, it was short and everything. After the last, yesterday when I was recording episode 789, right? My throat really hurt, but that was because I was talking about these fucking PS3 games so much. I wasn't shutting up for like the whole episode, which is the idea, because I'm doing the fucking commentary, especially for a game like this that doesn't have any kind of narrative itself, right? Okay, it's kind of like a little bit, but it's not like there's cutscenes and bullshit. No, it's just simply like, what, do you want to listen to this fucking awesome soundtrack? What is this fucking Transformers bullshit? So someone calling a fucking Autobot logo, and they were like, oh no, Decepticons, and I was like, fucking Autobot, you piece of shit. And I don't even like Transformers all that much, and I fucking knew that was an Autobot logo. Dumbasses. Fucking idiots. I can't fucking tell. The difference. I think there's also like a different faction in Transformers. There's like multiple factions, not just the Autobots and Decepticons. There's some Morse people. There's like more robots. I definitely seen the Michael Bay movies, but not like I sat down and fucking watched them and I was like, I'm following the story. No, I was more like, it was just on TV, and I might have been doing something else and it was kind of in the back. I do that a lot, you know? Except when I did that a lot with TV, nowadays I do it with like YouTube videos. I like turn on someone's reviewing a fucking Frogger game, Nitro Red or someone. Yeah, it was Nitro Red. And he's just talking about Frogger, and I'm just like doing breakfast, and I'm like, so Frogger Beyond isn't all that great, huh? That's interesting. Coco in Crash 4 got like a military outfit, and my oh my, do I smell trouble with that? I don't know. So far I only seen 2 fanarts of it, and they were all pretty cute, but I don't know. Yeah, so what were the games that were announced? I had it somewhere, specifically saved up some screenshots just to tell you about it, and now I can't fucking find it. That's some fucking bullshit. Brother, from another month. Oh, do you guys remember Lego Power Miners? It was a set of these, well, miners, but they were power miners because they were like fucking awesome. And they were mining crystals, and my favorite part about these sets was were the little crystal monsters, because you could like put stuff inside them and I thought they were cute. I had a drill and I had a robot. And I had like one big crystal monster. I really like those. I have a picture of one of the sets here, that's why it came to my mind. And there's also Lego Exo Force. Now this is definitely not a fucking set that is beloved as Power Miners and Ninjago and all that stuff. And it seems as if they wanted to do Lego Gundam, but they didn't get the license, so they just made their own anime looking thing. Even on the box that I have a picture of right here, there's like an anime dude in the corner, and you can see that anime dude is supposed to be the Lego figure on the front. And he's in like a mech suit with a gun and like a spear. And I had one of those, and not the one I have a picture of. I had like a red one, and the guy behind the cockpit had green hair. That much I can definitely confirm. And I had that one. I got no fucking idea how I came in possession of that, because I don't know, I guess they must have been in like a toy store and I just begged my parents for it, and I guess they got me then. Oh man. Where are the pictures of the things? See a video of like a power tool and some guy was cutting a car in 2 pieces. Hold the fuck up. Damn, I cut this recording into 3 parts, and now my desk is all messed up. Hold on, I gotta fix this shit. I got this cool thing where, you know, I have like this piece of plastic on top of my desk, so it's basically just a giant mouse pad, because it works like that. And I just put like a shit ton of like sticky notes underneath, so I don't forget stuff like, I don't know, like my proportions and my thumbnails and stuff like that. I got the Streets of Rage poster, and instead of hanging it on my wall, which I don't have space to hang it anywhere, I put it underneath and everyone sees it and it looks awesome. On the other side I have a Golden Axe poster, but the Golden Axe poster has like a really strangely cut dude in front standing in like a T-pose, an A-pose, with his arms symmetrically to the side. A chick with like enormous boobs, with possibly a broken leg, and a stupid looking dragon in the background. So the power tool, I don't know if you've seen a video of like a power tool. It's straight up just a gun with a hook. It looks fucking awesome. Wouldn't want to have my fingers stuck in that shit. Oh man. Cars are now able to blow up in Postal 4. I'm waiting for Postal 4 to just be fucking finished and then I'm gonna play it maybe. I don't wanna fucking play a game that's... I don't think it even has like the full week. I think it's just Monday. I can't fucking find that. I have a maybe possibly not fucking... Okay, I'm gonna look it up. PlayStation State of Play 2020. Computer World, tell me what the fuck. Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time State of Play trailer. The other thing that happened was Hitman 3 VR announcement. Hitman 3 is gonna be in VR. Not like exclusively in VR, I think. It's just gonna be kind of like Resident Evil 7, where you could beat the whole game in VR, but it wasn't like you had to. Definitely was immersive and pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Godfall gameplay walkthrough. Cool thing I didn't fucking watch any of those. Control expansion 2. That's the one that's supposed to connect the world of Control to Alan Wake's. I don't know. Hood, Outlaws and Legends. It's gonna be like a gangster game. Hood. Gangsters in the hood, get it? No, it's probably a fucking hood as in something you put in your head. Braid, Anniversary Edition. When I saw that I was like, oh my god, a Braid! Everyone's favorite video game! No, don't get me wrong, Braid is pretty good, but I don't like Braid. They even shown you the enhanced graphics, and I was like, wow, they look the same. Almost. Look up, almost the fucking same. Spelunky 2. My dad played a little Spelunky, I remember, and I never got into it. I thought it looked kind of boring, so I didn't get into it. But I think my dad wouldn't fucking care to play video games or Spelunky 2. Vader Immortal, some fucking Star Wars VR game. Box Snacks, everyone's favorite video game, and this time I might not be kidding. Looks pretty good. Yeah, gameplay trailer. Again, I didn't watch all of them. Temtem. That's the game that I was saying that... Is it called Temtem? Yeah, it's called Temtem. I was fucking right. I made up that name and I was right. That's cool. And... well, I remembered a little bit and I wasn't sure about it though. So... Temtem looks like a Pokemon ripoff. Looks alright. Ian Must Die. Is it like some kind of Orcs Must Die ripoff or a spin-off? Ripoff spin-off. Auto Chess, The Pedestrian, Mutation Impact. And that's it. Wait, that's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 games were shown. I ain't gonna lie. That wasn't awful. I just particularly only cared about like one game. Now Hitman and like Godfall, I do kinda give a shit about those games, but not hugely. I don't give a fuck about them all that much. It's not the kind of game that makes me jump out of my chair and be like, yes, I'm finally gonna play fucking Hitman 3. Oh my god. Finally, after all this time. After all this time of not even playing the previous ones. I did play them, but I didn't really care to like beat them. They were fun. But I think what happened is like I was going to like one level for like really long and I was like trying to be stealthy and perfect, and then I fucked it up and I was like, no, fuck this game. I started playing Far Cry 5 yesterday. I made myself a cute waifu. I made myself a cute fucking... What's this supposed to be? The state they're in? I don't know. Fucking Kentucky or something. My hentai what? No, my cute fucking Kentucky waifu. I shot some bad guys. And I pretty much only cleared the first island that you're on. So I haven't done all that much, but what I find cool was hiring the dude. I hired some guy named Scott, and he's my best friend now. And he pretty much, I just tell him to do shit, and he pretty much does everything for me. And I'm just like standing, and like I wanted to approach a mission stealthy, right? So I was like, Scott, you go to the other side, and we're gonna hit them from both sides, right? And I told Scott to start shooting, and before I even fucking like took aim, he just like killed 2 people, and I was like, holy shit. Which is fuck it up, you know, it is. Indeed. Fuck it up to... I'm almost done recording Borderlands Theater. I didn't really had much. Because the videos were rendering on my computer, so I didn't want it to record Borderlands Theater, because that just increases the possibility that the game wouldn't run smooth. And the game already doesn't run smooth all that much. I mean, most of the time it does. It doesn't fucking freeze it. Unless it does when OBS is freezing, but like in Terraria, I could understand that OBS was freezing because the game itself sometimes would freeze for me, especially since I was playing it with my friend and I was hosting a server. So if I was playing all by myself, then it would be fine. Also, when I turned the game on, I didn't hit skip frames. I think I had skip frames turned off. and the game was so slow. And it speeded up so ridiculously fast after I turned on the skip frame thing. Which was pretty funny, in my opinion. Yeah, that's cool, right? I don't know, no other things to say. I remember I was reading this fanfiction. I forgot about that. Let's read it again. Haven't read it. Wait, is this the right one? Because I got like 2 fucking pages of fanfictions turned on and I'm not sure which one I'm reading. No wait, chapter 2 I read. We're at chapter 3 now, out of 29, which I'm definitely not gonna finish. So if you wanna read it yourself, even though it's not really all that funny, I thought it would be. I didn't expect it to be funny. I just like wanted to read a fanfiction because I in case I run out of things to say, which I did just now. So I don't know. Chapter 3, holding up. Also, the Half-Life fanfiction that I was reading in my Half-Life Let's Play, which I am recording a Half-Life Let's Play, so stay tuned for that. I already made like 15 episodes. Or 16, I don't remember. And I was reading that fanfic. But it's like a popular, famous fanfic. It's from 2006, and it's shit. And it's so ridiculous, and it's easy to read, because even if I fuck up reading, you don't even know if I fucked up reading a line, or if that's actually how the fucking fanfiction is written, because it's so garbage. It's funny, it's great, I love it. I love it for how garbage it is. It's, you know, everyone knows it, everyone who's into Half-Life, at least a little bit, knows it. The full life consequences fanfiction. This one is from, what year? No, this one's from 2012, so that's actually not that new. It's like only a year after the game came out, so I guess someone must have really fucking liked Terraria when it came out and decided to write a fanfic about it. Chapter 3, holding up. Well, I give you credit, you managed to make use of the pouches without any real instruction. I'm going to guess, based on your reaction though, that it's been unintentional, Guide said. I haven't so much as thought about these things since you've given them to me, he replied, shaking his head and looking down at the weapon that were sometimes there, sometimes not. So let me guess, you just happened to find out that sword lying around when you needed it, Kyle stated. A knowing half smirk on his face. Well, yeah, he answered, realizing that he had to been too distracted to consider it at the time. Well, no, it was in the pouches, the same place you just pulled it from a moment ago, Kyle responded. Yeah, I was saying when I finished the second chapter, when they were talking about the pouches, I don't like them trying to explain the fact that, you know, you have like equipment with you. Like, couldn't he just say, oh, he has a backpack? No, apparently I guess the guy who played the game interpreted the equipment slots as pouches. That you have a pouch for, that you have fucking, what, 10 pouches with you, each with an item, and then I guess a backpack as well, for all the other shit that you're carrying around. Well, no, there was a creepy sound. Looking down at the pouches, he tried to imagine how a sword could possibly fit into one of them. As he did, the weapon lying beside him just kind of popped out of existence. Stirring just a bit, he took a slow breath and tried imagining where the sword could have gone. At which point he could feel it pop into his hand, and he watched as it rapidly faded into view. Not something he would have been able to describe had not been expected it himself. So what do I just have? What, do I just have to imagine where my sword is when I want to move it? And in and out of the pouches? He asked, popping the axe in and out of existence as he did. If that's how it's working for you, then sure, Guile answered. Technically, your pouches react to your desire while following the flow of this world's magic, so if you intend to put something in them, you come across a resource you can carry in them, they cool things inside. For example, I noticed that your pouches picked up a few pieces of that tree that you were working on earlier, he added. See, like for example Borderlands, they do have an explanation to where you keep all the guns, you know? Like, you're carrying around 4 rocket launchers, I found another hive. I did not get a B-gun at all in this playthrough, so I'm really disappointed about that. I never got to even show you how the B-gun works, it's my favorite weapon. And it's Tedior? I think it's Tedior. They made the... I don't think it's Tedior, but there's the Digistruct mechanic in the world. It's like canonical, it's not just like, oh, it's just a mechanic, that's the name for it. It's like canonically exists in that universe that they are carrying guns and they're digitally constructed in their hands. But I understand that he tried to, like, make sense of you having so many items that just pop out of nowhere. But I think I'd rather have him who just not address that fact and just leave. And just leave the fact that he carries, like, he could possibly carry 10 swords on him as just like something he can do, you know? It doesn't require such a complex explanation that it flows with the world and shit like that, in my opinion. This is not something like that. If you already said the world is magical and told that he has magic pouches where he can keep shit, and then if you could just, you know, like at some point you could just add shit up, like, oh, the pouches can also do this bullshit, because I just didn't told you before. But I don't know, fucking whatever. He had not spent the last few moments watching his tools appear and disappear. He would have had a harder time buying the idea of his pouches grabbing wood without his knowledge. As if it was, he tried to imagine the wood in his pouches, and was only mildly surprised as the pop-up and rapid fading in the wood then did. Okay. Looking down at the smooth, almost finished piece of wood in his hand, he had a hard time recalling that with the tree he had been working on. Wait a minute, why does this wood look like it's been finished already? Chuckling guide, who had now acting more and more as the guide he introduced himself as, answered, "It's as I said before, you didn't destroy a tree, you created wood. This is the wood you created." "It kind of sounds like your silly half-full, half-empty thing," he replied. "Whatever you wish to call it, this wood is product of the tree you fell earlier. Now nightfall isn't going to take its time getting here, so if I were you, I'd start creating more." Giles stated, no malice in his voice this time. "Sure, but one more thing first. What else are the pouches holding? And how am I supposed to remember what I put in them and these... if these things just kind of disappear when I think about putting them up?" he asked. "That's 2 things, though, on one answer, sort of," Guy responded. "You don't have to worry about remembering everything you place in them. The pouches will keep track of that. Now as you... Never mind. Now as to looking through them, put your hand into one of them and close your eyes. Not sure what to expect?" He did as he was told. "And?" he asked. "I was curious as to how far you would be able to go on your own," Guy responded. "Now just kind of feel around, but not with your hand." See, my character is way cooler than the fucking protagonist of this fanfic. I never even spoke to Guy and asked him about anything. I just fucking went to a cave straight away. But then I suppose Boss was kind of my guy, because he knows way more about this game than I do. Like, he knew which boss to go after first. He knew where to get all the rare materials. I was just like, okay, what do I'm just gonna go to a cave, whatever. I don't know where the fuck did I finish. Things, blah blah blah, but you're not sure what to expect. He did as he was told. And he asked, I was curious as to know why I did that one already. Trying to follow the same track that he was working before, he tried imagining what was stored inside the pouches. As he did this, he could almost see several stacks of wood and, oddly enough, pickaxe. He didn't see them in any material way, it was almost an intuition, as if he knew they were there and he could picture them if he focused on them enough. He tried to imagine the pickaxe, and he could feel his hand close around his handle. Opening his eyes and looking down, he could still feel the pickaxe, though his hand was still in the pouch. Pulling his hand out, he watched as the pickaxe slowly faded into view, much like the other tools did when he thought about them. He imagined it returning to the pouch and it popped out of existence. "And why do I have that?" he asked. You'll need it before too long. For now I'll answer your question, and the sun is notably more than halfway across the sky. Start working on collecting wood and I'll show you how to put together a simple structure for you to hide from the night in. He answered firm, but not menacingly. Frustrated by how much he didn't know, but deciding that he'd probably better get started if Guile was this persistent, he put the sword and the wood he put out into the pouches and picked up the axe. Walking over to a small cluster of trees, remembering not to think about it too hard, he began rhythmically swinging the axe. Boom, 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 boom. Also remembering what happened the last time, he braced himself as he continued. Same sound again. I want to fucking make it so many times. Not like in the uncertainty he felt about this, he prepared himself for... Whoa, he couldn't help it. He hollered and jumped away from the tree as it exploded into a shower of what looked like silly, unbelievable finished wood. He noticed that several pieces of wood popped out of the view as they blew towards him, and that the rest of the wood has rained down in a small radius around the stump. Oh yeah, just like in the game. Taking a steaming breath, he walked over towards the rest of the wood and imagined it going to the pouches. It was a strange experience walking around the tree stump as wood vanished in from off him. What about the acorns you get? He never mentioned acorns and planting more trees. I always do that, fucking asshole. He then was able to get used to this. He didn't know he was going to be able to get used to this weirdness, but at least he was expecting it now, sort of. He continued to work on the trees, moving from one to the next, not really sure how much wood he needed to build whatever kind of lean-to Guile was going to teach him to construct with this strange wood. He also wasn't sure what he used to fasten it together, what he used to secure its fastness. He figured he probably needed a hammer. Reaching down towards the pouches, he was almost surprised when one didn't materialize into his hand, which was kind of funny to him when he considered that not having a hammer appeared out of thin air almost surprised him. Well, it looks like calling the trees is lighten your mood at least, his strange guide said, breaking into wandering thoughts and low chuckles. In fact, I think that's the first hint of a smile I've seen anywhere on your face since you woken up, he added, wandering over to him. Remembering that he woke up this morning lying on the ground with no idea where he come from was a nice cold wake up from whatever it was. His mind had started to wander. Pausing from his work, he looked at Guile. About that. Now, I don't know where you came from, I don't know how you got here, and I don't know what's wrong with your memories. Guile answered the question he didn't have the chance to ask. Wait, I haven't said anything to you about any of that, he said, feeling a sudden chill that he had nothing to do with the rapidly approaching nightfall. Well, there's not entirely accurate, it doesn't really matter. You aren't the first to turn up here like this, Guile responded. What do you mean, there are others here who don't know where they came from, where they are? He asked, now turning away from the tree completely. Most of them are either dead or have moved on, so you may... Oh, like other characters, I guess. Moved on. As you may hope to do so at some point, Guile answered him. Wait, most of them? So there are others here then? He asked again. There are many who have come to Terraria, all of who have a role to play, Guile replied. But this is not a conversation for now. The sun is mostly gone. It is now time to begin constructing your shelter. Kinda close to the end of the video. Looking up at the sky, he was surprised to see how low the sun has gotten while he's been working on the trees. He really had lost himself in his work. Looking around, he was likewise surprised to see how many trees he cleared. Biting back his retort, he decided it would probably be best in his interest to go along again. I wonder what the relationship he'll have with the other NPCs. Will he get laid with the nurse? I hope so. I hope for a juicy sex scene at some point. That fanfiction I was telling you about before, or maybe I wasn't, I don't remember. The Crash Bandicoot one had a sex scene. Yeah, that was like I was reading through the stupid fanfiction where Crash is like a surfer dude. He's like in a band and all this stupid shit that the kid probably thought was awesome. Just for that stupid sex scene. Fine, how much more wood do I need? He asked, not really giving in, but deciding he'd better go with this if he wanted to have time to pursue this later. That's actually why I came over. You have collected enough for basic shelter. I will not be roomy, and it will not be roomy, it will do a little more than allow you to The opportunity to keep your insides well inside for now. It'll suffocate? No, wait, what? Guile answered, I don't know. Putting his axe away and pulling out 2 pieces of wood, he asked, so what kind of lean am I going to be building with these? Is that what you're building? Guile asked, almost considering a amused look on his face. Well, the first thing you need to do is build a frame. Also, you might want to decide whether or not you'd like to be sleeping on the ground. What other options do I have? He asked, not liking the reaction he was getting. You do have enough wood to build a floor, his guide pointed out. First, you're telling me I need to throw something together to keep myself from being torn to pieces by what you described as the walking flying dead. Now you're talking about me taking the time to build a wooden floor? Are you kidding me? He retorted. Let's start with a frame. You can add... Actually, have I built a floor in my house? I don't remember. I might actually not. No, I think I did. Let's start with the frame. You can add to that if you decide to do so later, Gal responded, unfazed. Glaring, he held out the wood, and how do I do that? I'd start by building up from the ground, Guile answered unhelpfully. So what, I just start stacking the wood up? Oh, do my house? Yeah, it does has wooden ground, that's nice. Let's start by building from ground, Guile answered unhelpfully. So what, I just start stacking the wood up? He oiled back, throwing the wood to the ground one after another like this? He hollered, stopping when he noticed what had just happened. Now he almost gotten used to... fuck, it's almost drawn. Almost done. Now he almost gotten used to tools and weapons just popping in and out of existence, but he tried moving them in and out of his pouch. As weird as it was, at least he knew what was going on. He also was not comfortable with the fact that the trees exploded into a shower of finished looking wood, but it was a constant that he could predict. This was just something else. He'd thrown 2 pieces of strange wood on the ground, having just done it. He was sure he'd not somehow mistaken that, but rising up from before him, almost as if it had sprouted from the ground where he'd thrown the wood, was a medium-sized square pole of wood I lost my fucking... wood coming to about his height. Sinking down to the ground in sitting position with his elbows on his knees, he put the head in his hands. He wished he knew what the heck was going on here. Nothing to do, world was right. Exploring trees, disappearing tools, bouncing blobs of goo, and now the world changes shape on its own according. This was getting ridiculous. Every time he thought he was getting on grips and things, something else could come along and show him that no, he had no idea. I wouldn't spend too much time relaxing, Galen, and interjected into his thoughts. Taking a deep breath and slowly contouring under his breath to keep himself from exploding from stress, anger, and really feel of the constant unknown, he slowly replied, his words shanky as the first but stabbing as they continue. Listen, this is far beyond the realm of any kind of sense. That I'm starting to question my sanity. I would appreciate if you could at least pretend to be sympathetic. His voice suddenly taken on a dangerous tone. Gal replied, this isn't sympathetic, world flashing. Night is come, and all that or matters not under the silent care of the moon. Diagnosis is over. I'll enjoy watching what comes next. His face devoid of even the hint of warmth, that malevolent presence hovering just out of sight. Why the fuck did he made like the guy like some badass? Like he knows everything. He's the guy cool, knows stuff, but he fucking sucks. He's not some warrior fucking asshole. Also, I wonder if this whole fucking fanfiction is just him having strange, ridiculous reactions to everything. Because considering he was so surprised that he built a block and now he was scared because of the block. And he questioned his sanity because he built a block on the ground, right? Like, what is he gonna do that for the whole fanfic? Like, oh, Eye of Cthulhu shows up and he's like, nope. I'm out of here, this is fucked up. It is fucked up. Eye of Cthulhu, just a flying fucking eyeball trying to kill you. And it fucking grows teeth. It's pretty fucked up. I have a summon for it. I think I might have actually fought it in this episode. Again. I think I might have, so I kept it in my equipment. Oh, I think I wasted it because I forgot that he only shows up at night. So or maybe... Nice house boss build, right? That is pretty cool. Or maybe what happens later in the fanfic is that he just simply accepts all the weird things and he actually learns how to fucking deal with stress and that this is just his life now, so he has to fucking deal with this shit. Instead of being a little bitch who cries on the ground because he built a wall. Yeah, I don't know. Well, if I would write a fanfiction, I would make fucking awesome, cool characters. Well, whatever. See you fellas in the next episode. Bye.